Good morning, everybody. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Retirement. Today is Wednesday, October 2nd, and the time is 9:28 a.m. Our first thing that we'll do is our Pledge of Allegiance. So, Mr. Wu, would you please lead us?
Right over your heart. Ready, begin. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our next item will be for our opening roll call and remarks, and I'll go turn that over to Bonnie.
Thank you, Chair Kehoe. This meeting is being held virtually and in person, so I will do a roll call of the trustees to confirm attendance. Mr. Razzo?
Present.
Mr. Rue?
Present.
Mr. Harris?
Present.
Ms. Gray?
Here.
Ms. Ginsburg? I'll come back to you, Ms. Ginsburg.
Here.
Thank you. Mr. Moore?
Here.
Mr. Oakham?
Here.
Mr. Sanchez?
Here.
Chair Kehoe?
Present.
Trustees Robbins and Trustee Green will not be present in today's meeting. Staff participating in the meeting include Deputy CEO Louis Lugo, Assistant Executive Officers JJ Popowich and Laura Guglielmo, Deputy CIO Jude Perez, Chief Counsel Stephen Rice, Senior Staff Counsel Allison Barrett, Frank Boyd, and Jean Kim, Legislative Affairs Officer Barry Liu, LACERA's Medical Advisor Dr. Glenn Erisman. Staff and managers participating in today's meeting include Zachary Meth, Carly Natoya, Semi Vuong, Chat Arande, Ted Granger, Cassandra Smith, Louis Gittins, Vincent Lim, Tamara Caldwell, and Tatiana Bayer, Tony Rhoda from William and Jensen, and Sherry. And that concludes our consultants for today. Trustees, please use the raise your hand Zoom option to be placed in the queue. At this time, we ask all meeting participants to mute their mics until you are ready to speak. And now we may proceed with the agenda.
Great, thank you, Bonnie. We're going to move on to our procedure for teleconference, and I do know that we have an AB 2449.
Yes, we received one request from Trustee Ginsburg for Just Cause A. Trustee Ginsburg, can you publicly disclose whether any other individuals 18 years of age or older are present in the queue?
No one's here.
Thank you.
Perfect. And just for the record, Ms. Ginsburg will not get 3 votes, even with the echo. We'll count it towards 1. Okay. Next item is the approval of the minutes of September 4th of 2024. I'll need a motion.
I'll move. Second.
Moved and seconded. Let's please vote.
Okay, Ms. DeRozzo?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mr. Kehoe?
Aye.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Ms. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mr. Sanchez?
Aye.
Mr. Oakham?
Aye.
Ms. Ginsburg?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously by all trustees present.
Perfect. Thank you. Motion passes. We now move on to our public comment. I do know we have a couple of requests for the public to speak. So let's go ahead and proceed with calling Daniel Gordon first.
We're going to do the applicant.
Okay. Denise Washington?
Yes. So,
Okay. Denise Washington will be our first public speaker.
yes. So we received a written comment and a request to address the board from applicant 5439B, Denise Washington. One moment while the applicant joins the meeting platform. Okay, Ms. Washington, you will have 3 minutes to address the board and you may begin now.
Hi, sadly, I'm here. I'm being forced to retire, and I want you to address the board and give them an overview from my perspective of why I'm here. I've exhausted all my resources of just trying to get reasonable accommodations to be removed from a hostile environment. Since August of 2019, I started with the informal meeting with the regional administrator. I filed grievances, mediations, my doctor notes, all been ignored, to no prevail, interactive. I did several interactive process meetings. I waited a year just to go before the arbitration. I even reached out to the director, to no prevail. even though I was diagnosed with cancer in 2020 and August of 2022, had no effects on me working or anything. The reason why I'm here is because I just can't get them to honor my request of being removed from a hostile environment that my supervisor has placed upon me. I've been off, and I just think it's not fair that I have been off for 2.5 years or more, and lost service time due to not being given the opportunity to be accommodated to I'm sorry. That's the reason why I'm here, and then I wanted to be heard. That, I just don't think it's fair that I'm being singled out and not being the opportunity to be accommodated to get me out of a toxic environment that's causing my health to decline. When I left in August of 2021, my whole body just stopped functioning, and I had to lay on the floor for 30 minutes and couldn't call for help. So I thought that was the end of my life. And I am deteriorating by trying to go to work and deal with this situation that I endured after 2.5 years of returning in December of on December the 26th of 23 to endure the same, to have to come back and endure the same problem and
Ms.
deal with the same
Please wrap up your
situation.
comments.
Excuse me?
Ms. Washington, can you please wrap up your comments?
Yes, that's about all I can say right now. That I've exhausted all my resources just for reasonable accommodation to be moved out of a hostile environment. Thank
Thank
you.
you, ma'am. Your case will be heard later today in closed session.
Excuse me?
I said we'll hear your case later today in closed session.
Okay.
Move on to, we have Daniel Gordon in the room.
Correct. Mr. Gordon is in person, and this is in regards to the item in executive session.
Perfect.
Mr. Gordon, you may approach the podium, and you will have 3 minutes to address the board.
Good morning, and thank you. I'm here to, again, address an issue that you guys will be hearing in closed session. This is in regard, I'm representing a few of us that in 2017, I worked for the arson unit for the fire department. During that time, we had been informed that or gained knowledge that we weren't getting properly compensated according to the Federal Labor Standard Act in compensation based on the fact that we were considered law enforcement and not firefighting. And based on our work schedule, our FLSA time was not appropriate for what we were doing. We then approached, we did get legal counsel. We approached the county. The county did settle and gave us 3 years compensation for that lack of pay. In 2017, we received that compensation. When we received it, there were 4 of us who were shortly afterwards either left the unit due to retirement, getting ready for retirement, or injury, and retired within the year after receiving that settlement. It was our understanding, it was our assumption that that settlement was going to be applied as part of our highest year for compensation due to it being FLSA, and according to the state of California, FLSA overtime is pensionable. So when we retired, we were assuming that that would be applied to our highest year. Once we retired and we researched it, we realized that this was not calculated into our time. So we again sought legal counsel. We looked into it and found that when the fire department payroll had given us the settlement, it was coded incorrectly. So they code the overtime in two different ways, one with FLSA being pensionable, the other just being regular overtime. They coded it as regular overtime. We did not receive that information. Once we realized that, we did request a petition to recalculate our highest year. So on behalf of the folks that I'm representing, we are asking that if you could please just consider recalculating our highest year based on those last 3 years that we were compensated for our time, and readjust our highest year. That's what we're petitioning. Thank you.
Thank you. And yep, we'll be hearing your case later as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other requests from the public to speak?
That concludes our public comment.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to our next item, which is our executive update. And our first is our LACERA All-Stars, JJ.
Thank you very much, and good morning to all of the trustees. Oh, sorry. Good morning. Now you can all hear me. Now you can all hear me? There we go. Sorry about that. Our All-Stars are staff members who we recognize and who have gone above and beyond in helping deliver service to our members or helping each other deliver service to our members. So please join me in congratulating Adam Quinteros, Nancy Harper, Anna Meriden, and Jorge Marquez. And then we have a ride share winner is Liliana Raquillo. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
For all you've done.
Congratulations to everyone.
And then we'll move
We'll go
on
to our member spotlight.
Thank you very much. So please join me in taking a moment to recognize and celebrate the members selected for this month's members spotlight. Our spotlight program is all about recognizing the folks that provide service to the constituents of LA County and the folks that we serve in turn, and to give us a moment to reflect on why we do what we do. And so this month, our member spotlight falls on Tristan Biller. If we can go to the next slide. Mr. Biller has worked for the Medical Center's Emergency Department for over 20 years on a biohazmat team. He's a carpenter. And what I found just inspiring is, somebody that found something that he really loves in life to do and has chosen to remain as a journeyman carpenter for his career because that's what he loves to do. And he does that off hours. And two, he's an artist. So he does welding and other type of art, woodworking artwork. And so it's just, it's wonderful to see somebody that, found what their niche is in life and has enjoyed that. And so he looks forward to retiring in 2025 and focusing on connecting with people through his art. So we thank Tristan Biller very much for his service and wish him a great retirement when he retires.
Thanks so much. And Lewis, we'll have you do the CEO's report.
Yes, good morning, Chair Kehoe. Good morning, trustees. A few highlights from our CEO report. First, we have the general election for third member for both the Board of Retirement and Board of Investments. As we reported, unofficially, Aline Langton won the election for both the BOR and the BOI. She is here with us today. So congratulations, Aline. I had the pleasure of meeting Aline along with other staff Board of Investments offsite. One of the things that has been revised in terms of our report is the official date that Aline will assume her responsibilities with the Board of Investments. So originally it was October 22nd was going to be, the election was going to be certified by the Board of Supervisors. That's been moved up to October 8th. So she will start her new official capacity with the Board of Investments October 9th, and then with the Board of Retirement, the start of the new year. So again, congratulations, Aline, and we look forward to working with you, staff and trustees alike. Management offsite. So we've been busy preparing for our management offsite. That's scheduled for November 19th at the Huntington and San Dimas. So we're really excited about that. It's going to be an opportunity for us to collectively, our Management Action Committee, as well as our Supervisory Action Committee, to connect on our, not only the Board of Retirement Strategic Plan, but also discuss just LACERA as a whole as we move forward around culture, team building, and just everything in between. So we're really looking forward to that, and there'll be a report out once we conclude that offsite. The lifetime maximum. So we provided an update on the lifetime maximum. So we're be very clear while the ultimate goal is to eliminate the lifetime maximum for our members that are currently under the Anthem 1, 2, and prudent buyer plans. We have a tentative agreement. The Board of Supervisors, the county CEO's office still has to formally go through their process, but we have a commitment that the lifetime maximum will be increased from 1 million to 1.5 million, effective with the new renewal cycle, which is effective July 1st, 2025. We have a commitment that we're going to be engaging with the county CEO's office in terms of our data and our experience. And that's really been the impasse between us and the county as it relates to eliminating the lifetime maxes, where migration assumptions have been really skewed between what our actuaries have and then the county's actuaries. So this experience study in terms of the migration is going to be effective in being able to draw out true data as it relates to how many people migrate over to the Anthem plan, assuming that lifetime max is raised and or eliminated. So we hope in the next couple of cycles that ultimately we'll get to an elimination of the lifetime maximum, because that ultimately is our goal. I know that's the goal of the trustees. That's the ultimate goal in terms of making sure that our members have parity and choice when they funnel into retirement. So we'll continue to update the board as it relates to some of the data points that we'll be providing, especially with the IBL, the Legislative and Benefits Committee. And then lastly, just wanted to also highlight, Cassandra brought this up in the IBL committee meeting, but it was a really great event with the retiree group in Carson, California. A lot of really good subject matter that was provided to the retirees, and they had an opportunity to meet directly with the health carriers. But most importantly, when you are actually there, is the engagement and the conversation and really camaraderie that they have amongst one another, from individuals that have just retired in March to individuals that have been retired for over 30 years. So I think it proves to us that these events, these FaceTime live events, are important, and it's really kind of a community builder for our respective retirees that call LA County home after their active service. So I want to thank Cassandra, her team. They did a phenomenal job in really welcoming our retirees and ensuring they had a good experience. And with that, stand for any questions.
Perfect. I'll open it up for questions. You're lucky Les Robbins isn't here, so you don't get any tough questions on the $1 million cap number.
So the preliminary cost directly from Anthem is about $2 million. Well, let me refer. In terms of the premium increase, it's about $2 million to eliminate it. Now, this is the migration assumption in terms of long-term costs, the unfunded liability and long-term costs. That's where we differ between our actuary and the county's actuary.
So if we go up to $1.5 million, we're a little over 600,000.
Correct.
So is that going to be 2 million, or is it going to be $1.4 million? Okay, so we're paying 600
To go up to
630 or something to go
to 1.5 million.
1.5. Is it another 2 million to go to eliminate it?
Yeah, so it'd be 1.4 technically, because if the total cost
The
is
million is $1.4 million,
correct.
and we're spending $72 million a month.
Yeah, the program is about almost $900 million annually. So I think we'll get there. I think ultimately we're confident that we'll get to.
The CEO more, more, I guess what the word I'm looking for is she with it if we go to that, we eliminate it?
I think the experience will prove itself out, which we've said all along in terms of migration. So I think as they see the migration not having an impact in terms of individuals, our two highest plans is Kaiser and Anthem. And the concern is you eliminate the cap and all of a sudden there's a mass exodus to go from Kaiser to Anthem, which is just not reality. But as we prove experience, I think that narrative will prove itself out.
Thank you.
Great. And great work from staff and everybody involved.
Yep.
I mean, it's been a long road, and we're taking baby steps, but that's how we have to do it to show that everything we said is great.
Just a quick question. So going to 1.5, when will we be able to revisit this again?
Did the
So-
CEO mention?
So annually, so at every renewal cycle,
Okay,
we'll provide this data annually so that, so the next renewal cycle, which we start those engagements in September of 2025, the goal is to potentially increase that again and
increase it or
ultimately-
remove it, right? Okay.
Exactly.
Great question. Okay, any additional questions for staff? Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move on to our disability retirement applications on our consent calendar. And the first items on the consent calendar is application 467E through 489E. That's pages 1 and 2. I'll make the motion. So moved in second. Let's please vote.
Mr. Razzo,
Aye.
Mr. Harris,
Aye.
Mr. Rue,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Ms. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez,
Aye.
Mr. Oakham,
Aye.
Ms. Ginsburg,
Yes.
Chair Kehoe.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously by all trustees present.
Great, thank you. Next is our fire and lifeguards, application 1873B through 1881B. I'll make the motion on that as well.
And
I'll second.
Mr. Razzo,
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Rue,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Ms. Gray,
Aye.
Mr. Sanchez,
Aye.
Mr. Oakham,
Aye.
Ms. Ginsburg,
Yes.
Chair Kehoe.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously by all trustees present.
Great, next, let's move to our general members, SCD. This is page 5, application 2808C through 2818C.
Make a motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Let's please vote.
Mr. Razzo,
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Rue,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Ms. Gray, Mr. Sanchez,
Aye.
Mr. Oakham,
Aye.
Ms. Ginsburg,
Yes.
Chair Kehoe.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously by all trustees present.
And our final consent calendar, NSCD, application 4506.
Make a motion.
Moved and seconded. Please vote.
Mr. Razzo,
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Ms. Ginsburg,
Yes.
Mr. Rue,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Ms. Gray, Mr. Sanchez.
Aye.
Mr. Oakham,
Aye.
Chair Kehoe.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously by all trustees present.
Great, thank you. Next is our consent items. That's item 8 on the agenda, A through G. Do we have any trustees that want to pull or discuss any items on the consent calendar? Hearing none, let's please vote for consent. I'll need a motion though.
I'll move the items.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Let's please vote.
Mr. Razzo,
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Rue,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Ms. Gray,
Aye.
Mr. Sanchez,
Aye.
Mr. Oakham,
Aye.
Ms. Ginsburg,
Yes.
Chair Kehoe.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously by all trustees present.
Great, thank you, and especially thank you to the to our audit committee. Did a lot of work, and everybody from staff who assisted with that. I know that was a heavy lift. Appreciate all the hard work. Okay, we're moving on to our non-consent item A, which is the 2025 Star COLA program. We have a memo and we had a presentation last month. We're happy to do another presentation if we need to, or we can, okay, or we could just go with a motion on it. I'll go ahead and make the motion that we make it permanent.
I'll second it.
So moved and second, any discussion with the item on the table? Hearing none, let's please vote.
Ms. DeRozzo.
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Rue,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Ms. Gray,
Aye.
Mr. Sanchez.
Aye.
Mr. Oakham,
Aye.
Ms. Ginsburg,
Yes.
Chair Kehoe.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously by all trustees present.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Good. Perfect, thank you so much. Okay, our next item is probably one of the largest motions that I think I've ever seen, so I will refrain from reading it, and I'll just hand over the floor to JJ to do an introduction on it.
Thank you very much. This is a request to approve NACO, which is the National Association of Counties, as a organization authorized to accept deductions from members, retired members, allowances. NACO is formed a partnership with RELAC, They will be providing various insurance-related services to RELAC members. And this is part of that process to approve them to receive the deductions. Additionally, we are asking that the trustees waive a 100-member commitment to allow them to to accept deductions. So in summary, the Board of Retirement's policy regarding retiree warrant deductions has 4 different requirements. NACO has met the first 2 of those, which are essentially to represent and provide services to a retirement organization and to have a, and then the second or the last 2 is to have a certain number of members, 100 members, in order for us to form that relationship. And since the open enrollment period is coming up for the next fiscal year for these insurance, or for the next calendar year for these insurance programs, we wanted to be able to allow those deductions before they reach that threshold. The assumption is they will reach that threshold. Additionally, I do want to share that, excuse me, when I get back up to the recommendation, I want to make sure I cover everything. Additionally, we also are asking that, or we'd like it to be recognized that NACO is a third-party administrator for these programs that are under the RELAC sponsorship. And so when they do make payments, the payments will be made directly to the underwriting insurance company, which is MetLife. And so we wanted to make that a part and aware of this. And then we also wanted the board to approve a transitional plan for their former RELAC's former partner, which is Pacific Group Agencies. They've been a partner since 2008, I believe, and they provide a wide range of insurance services and other services like legal aid services and pet insurance even. And so when we looked at this impact, because PGA is an organization that currently provides these services to a little over 3,500 or 3,800 members. Forget the number right off the top of my head. I apologize. That are also members of RELAC. We needed to look at the types of insurance that they provide or types of services they provide. All of these deductions are under CERL, are allowed under CERL under section 31592.5, I believe it is, 31452.5. And it lays out 10 different types of deductions which can be taken from a retiree warrant. It's check. And those deductions range from the first 4, which are all health insurance related. It goes on to talk about things like tax insurance and certain charitable deductions and deductions that can be taken to sent to a credit union. But it also has under number 10, deductions for other non-specified services, as long as those services are provided under the auspices of a recognized retirement organization, such as RELAC. So things like travel insurance, certainly legal aid, pet insurance fall under number 10. Those aren't enumerated in the rest of that section. And so there has to be a direct relationship between the retirement association and the provider in order for those deductions to occur. LACERA doesn't have any idea what member is receiving what, or what members are taking their deductions for. We just know that there is an authorization to take deductions. And so we have proposed a plan to work with RELAC and to notify PGA that if members do choose to remain with PGA, that we would need a new authorization form signed, and that there are certain types of services that we could not allow them to continue to take deductions for. And so we've laid out a plan and discussed it internally on how we would communicate, and we're discussing that with RELAC and how we would communicate. I do want to point out that some of the complexities of this is in our past, we didn't necessarily have formal signed contracts or agreements with all of these deduction agencies. We have well over 50 or 60 of them for different reasons. So we looked at the policies that there are 2 policies. There's one is the authorization for deduction policy. The other one is a mailing policy, which outlines, how many mailings LACERA will facilitate for retirement organizations. Both of these policies haven't been updated in some time. And so there are things that we plan on doing going forward, such as getting a formal agreement from the agency that's actually taking the deductions. We're going to bring this back to the board for a revision of the policy to make that part of the policy, because we feel that's really important. And additionally, there is a deduction authorization that each member is supposed to sign. And LACERA has never requested to see those. It's always been on the honor system that the agency that is doing this does it. And we've frankly never really had a problem with that. No members have really complained. Occasionally we'll get a member who complains about deductions not being canceled when they asked them to, but it's extremely rare. However, you know, from a fiduciary standpoint, we want to see those deduction agreements. And so going forward, we'll be asking for those copies of those deduction agreements. We want to update the policy to formally include that in the policy as well, so it's recognized there. So the board can look at us coming back in the future with updates to both of those policies, because there's some things that we'd like to revise on the mailing policy too, which we'll discuss then. But in the meantime, we're asking for trustees' support to allow NACO to be authorized to receive deductions for approval of the process that we've outlined for the transition and for the waiver of the minimum 100 member requirement. With that, I'll take any questions.
JJ, does this authorize the CEO signature authority for any contracts or MOU with RELAC, or do we need to add that language? The contract wouldn't be, so let me make that clear. It's a very good point you brought up. The contract wouldn't necessarily be between RELAC. It's with the agency that's receiving the deductions. So even with PGA, one of the reasons why we don't just stop everything with PGA is because, you know, as I mentioned earlier, under CERL, there are services that they provide that are insurance and health insurance related, right? And so those are allowed under CERL. And so there isn't really a reason to, there isn't really the capability for us to deny that because PGA could request that and on their own. The history behind, by the way, PGA's request, we believe that was in consultation with RELAC way back when, but there's no documentation from that time. So, and we also are aware that they also provide the same type of deductions to CRCEA, which is the California Retiree. I can't remember the rest of it, but they're another retirement organization, and you know, we don't know which one per se they're doing it under. So in the future, to answer your question, that was a long roundabout way, and I apologize for doing that. The agreement would be between us and NACO, and it would go through a formal legal review process. And of course, you know, we can certainly make it something that the CEO has to agree to, or it could be delegated, you know, to an AEO to do as well. All of this generally falls under the member operations group. You know, we're the ones that process the deductions and manage that process. So yeah, it's your pleasure. As you look at bringing the policy back to us and all that stuff, I think consider us delegating it to the CEO, and the CEO obviously having delegation authority as well.
We will write it
rather than having to bring every single contract if it falls within the guidelines of any of those 10 sections that you mentioned. Mr. Oakham.
Yeah, JJ, are any of these insurance programs deductible, or are you just taking the money and paying PGA or whoever? Are they deducting any of this from taxes, or do they do that on their own?
So we do not. We just take, it's an after-tax deduction. So basically, you know, whatever's left over after you've paid your taxes as a retiree, we take from that and pay directly to the provider.
Okay, long-term care is not deductible?
There is a program for safety officers, public safety officers, which is a federal definition. It's a little bit different than what we consider safety officers. That does have a $3,000 tax exemption that they can take advantage of. I mentioned in the memo, there's in 2014, we did create formal agreements with certain long-term care providers who wanted to take deductions. So there's actually a contract and agreement that they have to abide by. That was because when the public safety officer's $3,000 healthcare tax exemption was originally passed, there was a requirement that the deductions be paid from a retirement organization. That law was amended in, I believe, 2022, and with an effective date of 2023, I believe, where that's no longer necessary. So there are now members, some that we do report that they had the $3,000 deduction. They in turn report that on their tax return. For the other members that have signed up after that, law has changed. They're able to just tell the IRS whatever they want to tell the IRS. We don't have to provide any physical letter or anything like that. I think that answers the question, Mr. Oakland.
Yes, thank you.
Additional questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought I heard you say that there was a number or a specific number of transactions that were allowable.
So under the board's policy for deductions from retirees' benefits, there's a 100 minimum threshold that has to be met.
A 100 person.
Right, 100% threshold.
I'm talking about the number of transactions that you could do.
There is no
limit.
There is no limit.
So it's 7,500 per person. There's no limit.
Well,
7.
as long as they don't technically exceed the amount of their warrant. Check.
Yes, there's no limit. Okay.
There's no limit.
Okay,
Yeah.
then second question was,
Just did it.
has that process
16.
been subject to an internal audit?
It has not been audited, to my knowledge, in a very long time.
Because you did say that there's a requirement for the employee's signature, but that hasn't been, the requirement hadn't been implemented.
There is a requirement for a deduction authorization agreement to be signed. It has been in the 19 years that I've been here, and so this pre-exists me. It has always been the responsibility of the organization to maintain those. And then if we needed them, we would demand them from them. When RELAC approached me, I did take another look at this process. I did have a discussion with internal audit, and I did recommend that this be something that we look at auditing sometime in the future. Based on that discussion, we said, well, there isn't really a policy requiring it at the time, just that it be signed and maintained by the organization. And so what we've decided to do was, require it going forward, and then it will become part of the regular audit process. And the reason we did that is, again, we haven't had complaints. The only complaints we ever get, and they're very rare, is if an organization doesn't cancel somebody's deduction quick enough. Sometimes members just want to stop doing it. So they contact the organization. The organization in turn communicates with us on a monthly basis on any changes or cancellations or additions under these programs. And sometimes it doesn't happen quick enough. And so, we get involved, we talk to the agency, let them know we're canceling it, and we move forward.
Okay, so you also said that you're going to develop some current policies because we're uncertain of what's in place now. So then why would we get into this agreement with no policies in place?
So let me correct that. We do have a policy. It was passed in 1997 as far as the deduction authorization. But
it's never been audited whether we're in compliance with that policy.
To my knowledge, we have not audited that particular process. And if Richard is here, or if
okay, well, let's just say that you're gonna update the policy, and is that on some kind of a schedule?
My goal is to try and get that to you before the end of the year. It goes through an internal process. I have to write the policy. It'll go through an internal process to vet it before we bring it to you, and that way
so we ought to see that in the December meeting.
That goal is to get it to you by December. Absolutely.
Okay, and then as far as the audit plan, you're going to include in the policy that this is a program that should be audited at some frequency.
Yeah,
okay,
we will absolutely put that in.
Yeah, I see him walking down. I saw him walking down the hall. He heard his name.
Stay as far away as possible.
And then not spread my germs, but yeah, as Mr. Popovich indicated, we've looked at the program, and we did look at the program, the transmittals that are sent. We did an audit on that. probably 10 years ago. We haven't looked at the program recently, but it is something I think once we have the policies in place and the procedure, that we will look at that program.
Okay, so there's going to be like an entry audit or something once this new policy is adopted.
Right.
You're going to get that immediately into your schedule for the coming year, wherever you can fit it in. No, I'm not saying you got to do it in January, but it should be soon. And
Depending on
then
the
you'll
timing.
have a periodic 2-3 years, however you think it should be done.
Certainly, we can take a look at that.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Hope you feel better, Richard.
Additional questions? Okay, I'll move the motion, and then I'd like to just add a second thing on there, which is direction to staff, as long as there's no objection from the board, that our board authors a letter to the audit committee explaining a summary of this conversation so that they're aware of this, and then that way they can take action on it or stand by until the policy is done. But that way we formally document that we've seen this, we're aware of it, and we're doing something about it. Sound
Will
good?
do.
Okay, so the motion is both of those, inclusive of the written memo dated on September 23rd, as well as that direction. I'll need a second. Second, any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, let's please vote.
Mr. Razzo,
Aye.
Mr. Harris,
I'm going to abstain as I am a board member of RELAC.
Mr. Rue,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Ms. Gray, Mr. Sanchez.
Aye.
Mr. Oakham,
Aye.
Ms. Ginsburg,
Yes.
Chair Kehoe.
Aye.
The motion passes with one abstention.
Thank you. That brings us to item C, which is the approval of our MOU for bargaining units 850 and 851. We have a memo dated September 26, 24, and I believe we're all quite aware of the recommendation. So if unless we need a presentation, I'm happy to take a motion.
I move it.
Moved and seconded. Let's please vote.
Mr. Razzo,
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Rue,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Ms. Gray, Mr. Sanchez.
Aye.
Mr. Oakham,
Aye.
Ms. Ginsburg,
Yes.
Chair Kehoe.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously by all trustees present.
Great. And then that moves us to our next item, which is item D, which is the same thing, just for our management and non-represented employees. Need a motion on that. Oh,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Before a vote is taken on the second item, I do have to read a statement from a statement.
okay.
Okay, so prior to taking final action, the legislative body shall orally report a summary of a recommendation for a final action on the salary schedules and compensation paid in the form of fringe benefits of a local agency executive as defined in subdivision D of section 3.3511.1 during the open meeting in which the final action is to be taken. And since this motion includes actions that would apply to the DCEO, AEO, all division managers, and any individuals under contract, I have to read this. So the paragraph shall not affect the public's right under the California Public Records Act, Chapter 3.5, to inspect or copy records created or received in the process of developing the recommendation. So the action that you would be voting on is a 3% across the board salary increase for non-represented and MAP employees. Yes, through December 31st, 2025. There's two different effective dates. I realized in responding, I did not actually answer your question. So one of them would take effect October 1st, 2024, and the other one, January 1st, 2025.
When was the last raise?
January 1st, 2024.
Was that 3% as well?
Yes.
Additional questions? Hearing none. Did we have a motion?
I don't have
Okay, I'll take a motion.
Second.
I'll move it.
Thank you.
Okay, and let's please vote.
Great. Mr. Razzo,
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Rue,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Ms. Gray, Mr. Sanchez.
Aye.
Mr. Oakham,
Aye.
Ms. Ginsburg. Chair Kehoe.
Aye.
I did hear her mouth say yes. Not
Yes.
sure.
Yes, perfect.
Great, thank you so much.
Okay,
Then
thank
motion
you.
passes unanimously.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you, everyone, for a lot of hard work on this. We understand that that was a lot to move us forward 1 year, but we did the right thing. Thank you. Okay, now we're moving on to the reports. We have all information only reports. So I'll ask if there's any trustees that want to have a discussion on them. Seeing none, we'll move along to our items for staff review.
Nothing to report.
And future agenda items, any requests from trustees to add any specific agenda items? Seeing none, we'll go to good of the order.
Mr. Raza?
Well, it was a pleasure meeting the new trustee. Congratulations. And hopefully everyone got to watch the debates last night. So, you know, hopefully that kind of swayed their decision, because apparently the entire country is split. So will we know next time we meet? I don't know.
No.
Just
Couple
Yeah.
days? Okay. Well, good luck to our country.
Mr. Harris?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank staff for their hard work, particularly on the consent applications for disability retirement. I know we just go through those and rarely do we pull or ask questions, but it's not that we don't look at these. And I'm always really happy to see those salary supplements. I noticed this time there were 4 salary supplements for general members. So thank you for that. Everybody wins when that happens. And I'm really happy to see those. So I just want to thank staff for all their hard work.
Mr. Root?
Yeah, I just want to join and just thank the staff for all of their hard work. And I know there's a lot of craziness happening in the world. It feels like literally the world is falling apart locally, nationally, and globally. And, you know, we just finished our retreat on the BOI side, which helps reinforce how our long-term plan that we have here at LACERA is important, because while you guys work very hard to make preparations for every potential outcome or event, there's no way we could prepare for 100%. And that's why the long-term goal, as our CIO and as our CEO and you all have ingrained in our heads, is absolutely critical. Because of exactly times like these where hope everything will turn out for the best, locally, nationally, and globally. But I feel good that our members should be reassured that no matter what happens, their money will be safeguarded and there will be a better tomorrow. So thank you.
Ms. Gray?
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to recognize Aileen Langdon. She is our newest elected trustee. Congratulations also. I will be passing the torch to her come December 31st for the Board of Retirement. I'm very excited. If you think that you're happy to get rid of me and she won't ask any more questions, get ready, because Miss Langdon is following in my shoes already. She comes from County Counsel. So if you're tired of hearing from other lawyers, you got it again. Okay. The other thing I'd like to, or other person I'd like to recognize is Mr. Jude Perez. He is with the investment staff. He is our deputy CIO, but I had an opportunity to see him present and also moderate last week at New America Alliance. He was excellent, made me proud. I mean, I always talk about LACERA at SACRES, and we always talk about the fact that LACERA in California is the big dog. We are the big dog. And believe me, Jude made it seem like, yes, we are the big dogs, not only in California, but basically in the nation, because he had a lot to say. I was just very proud. Also, I'd like to thank staff for all your hard work, particularly the negotiators on the contracts for the repped and non-repped individuals, because as a county employee, although I am non-represented, I benefit from all of your hard work. So I really, really appreciate all of that. And one last thing, it's very small, but if you look over at Mr. Moore, there is a pin on his lapel, and each of us has one. Now, you may have taken it, yeah, it's no big deal. It describes who we are and what you do for LACERA. And though it is just a small little piece, actually, it made a really big difference in the last few conferences I attended and wore my pin, although I don't have it on today. Mr. Moore was instrumental in having that designed. I had no idea. I said, wow, what an idea. Because even though we wear a name tag or whatever, it's kind of like that flag on the lapel of people who work for the government, like the president. It always just helps to be identified. And so, Mr. Moore, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And that's all of my good of the order.
Thank you, Mr. Moore.
She stole my good of the order.
Mm.
I was gonna mention the pens because I did ask Santos Kryman months ago to come up with a design for a pen because Cal Pers and Cal Stirs has one. We should have one too. So the staff, came up with the design. They actually sent me some drafts and I looked at them. They were great. And I wanted to implore all of the other board members to wear your pen. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez.
It's been said, but I just want to congratulate everyone that worked on the MOU between LACERA and SEIU. And it's great to see the progress, and I know a lot of hard work. So thank you all.
Mr. Oakham.
No, I agree, and welcome. I'll get to work with you at least here for a year. So that will be good. Let me say this, that we have a great staff. Judd, I haven't seen you lately because I'm not on the Board of Investment. And can you tell us what our assets are? I don't get to see that information.
In detail.
Not in
You got 30 minutes.
Okay.
I'm front running the Board of Investment CIO report that's going to go out this afternoon. But the report that will go out is we're sitting about at 80.7 billion for the pension plan, and OPEB is sitting at 4.1 billion. So you got
80.7.
80.7. So if we round up a little, you can go tell members that we're managing 85 billion now with both plans together.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Ms. Ginsburg.
I just echo everybody's comments. I want to thank staff for all their hard work on the reports that were presented and the work with the negotiations for salary. And I also want to welcome our new trustee, Aileen. Welcome. I know I met you at the offsite last month, but I look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Kehoe.
Thank you. Welcome, Eileen. If you'll now be able to enjoy 30-minute conversations about warrant withholdings and other exciting things that we do here. But honestly, it's great to have you, and we just do so many great things. And it's really not us. We're just sitting up here, and we get to enjoy everything that staff does every single day. We simply could not do our job up here without what staff does. Putting together 15, 20-page memos and all the work that has to come behind that. And we just sit here and vote on it really easily. But the work that goes on behind the scenes is just amazing, and I appreciate that. I'll just say that thank you all to our trustees too as well that puts in the time, energy, and effort to make this happen. I have nothing else to say, so we'll move on to our applications for disability in closed session.
Thank you. Those in person as well as in the Zoom platform, if you are not participating in closed session, you may be dismissed now.
Recording stopped.